Hey guys, welcome to Pregnancy and Postpartum TV. Today we're doing prenatal yoga or pregnancy yoga for natural birth preparation. So we want to open up our hips and our pelvis, get baby in the right position. We want to feel strong and have lots of endurance for our labor, as well as we want to prepare our core and our pelvic floor for pushing and letting baby out. I've had 3 really positive birth experiences, natural labors, and these are the exercises and stretches that I did every day to help prepare for the easiest and fastest labor possible. I am going to use the ball for one move, but don't worry if you don't have a ball, I'm going to give an alternative, and we're not going to be using the ball for most of these exercises. If you're new here, my name is Jessica Pumple. I'm a pre- and postnatal fitness instructor and also a mom of 3. I'm not actually pregnant right now. I'm just wearing a belly for demonstration purposes, but I put out new prenatal yoga and fitness videos every week. So if you like videos like these, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Of course, always check with your own doctor before starting any new exercise routine. Listen to your body and only do moves that feel safe for you. We're going to start on our hands and knees. So you can come onto your hands and knees and shoulders over wrist and hips over knees. And we'll start with some cat and cow. And so we can exhale and rounding out your back and inhale, going the other way and activating your core and holding your baby in tight to your spine, not letting your belly hang out. And rounding out one more time. And arching. And now we'll move into some hip circles. So it's going to help open up the hips and the pelvis. Your hormone relaxin is helping your muscles relax and help opening up those joints. Movement is helping lubricate the joints. So just as small or as big feels good for you. And going the other way. Good. Now we can come up, and if you have your ball, you can grab your ball, and if not, then you can walk in a standing position. So for here, what I did is just every day I would sit and bounce on the ball, and you can also do hip circles on the ball, and you can do pelvic tilts, and really again just opening up the hips, preparing for birth. If you don't have your ball during this time, just walk on the spot. Walking is also great for preparing for labor, getting your baby in a great position. So we'll just sit here and you can bounce. All right, so I'm going to put the ball aside. If you want to keep bouncing later, that is definitely something that I did every day. But we're going to do some sumo squats. You can bring your legs wide apart. You can place your hands on your hips, and we're going to strengthen our legs. And again, opening up our hips as well, and bending down and up. You can go with at your own pace. And we'll do one more here now. Good. And then we can come down again, this time placing our hands on our knees and press, opening up. You can put one shoulder in for a deeper stretch and then switch sides. Remember to breathe. Good. And we'll come up. We're going to do some standing lunges. So you can take your feet hip width distance apart, and we're going to start by lunging back and standing up. You can switch sides. Do one more on each side. Now we're going to get down and do some kneeling lunges. So we can get down on your knees. If you wanted to roll up your mat under your knees, you can. And then we're going to bring your leg forward and lean in and stretch throughout here and take a breath. And then push back into our kneeling position, and we'll switch sides. Beautiful. Switching sides again. And coming up, other leg forward. And one more time on each side. Last one. And coming out. From a kneeling position here, we can lean forward, place our hands on the ground, and we're going to move into a squatting position. So feet are a little bit wider than hip width distance. If your heels come off, that's absolutely okay. Or if you can place your heels on the ground, you can do so, finding a comfortable yogi squatting position and pressing your hands together. Now that we're down here in yogi squat, you can press your elbows into your knees and relax into the position. Relax, let your hips open. If movement feels good, you can move back and forth, or you can also close your eyes and breathe and focus on relaxing and opening up your hips. And if your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes, and we'll place our hands down in front of us and carefully move out of the pose, and then we'll come down and lay on our side to do some Kegels. Or we can do also reverse Kegels. So if you're in your first or second trimester, then sitting up or hands and knees isn't okay. But if you're in your third trimester and preparing for labor, then lying down is the best position to do Kegels on, to take the pressure of your belly off that area. And some women stop doing Kegels towards the end of their pregnancy, 36 weeks or later. It's a little bit controversial. If you're not sure, then a pelvic floor physiotherapist would be the best person to see to assess whether you're too tight, because if you're too tight, then you don't want to be doing more Kegels. But I did Kegels throughout my pregnancy, and then towards just the last few weeks, I stopped doing Kegels and focused on reverse Kegels. So a Kegel is where you are contracting as if you're stopping the flow of urine, or you're imagining a blueberry at the opening of your vagina and picking it up, and also sucking in your lower belly at the same time, whereas a reverse Kegel is a stretch. So instead of a contraction, you're stretching, so you're relaxing the area between your tailbone and your pubic bone. So if you were looking in a mirror, you would see that area relax and stretch out. And so that's a reverse Kegel. So you can do either one, whatever you think is appropriate for you. If you're doing Kegels, so we can just relax into the position and picture a blueberry and pick it up and hold for 10, or if you're doing a reverse, really just focusing on relaxing and stretching that area between your tailbone and your pubic bone. All right, and I'll let you do those on your own time now. You can pick it up and hold. And release and relax. And we'll do that again. Picking it up. And releasing. And if you're doing a Kegel, picking it up, sucking up the blueberry. Lower belly is activated. And release. And we'll do it one more time, picking it up and holding. And release. If you're still not sure if you're doing it right, I do also have a guide for Kegel in pregnancy. I'll link to that in the description box below. Right, so now we're going to work into some clamshells. And so often women, one of the birth positions is birthing on this, or laboring on the side. And so doing clamshells can really help strengthen here and prepare if you are going to birth in that position. And so we'll do some clamshells. Do 2 more. Perfect. And now we're going to do broken clamshell. So this time lifting your leg up, and then we're going to rotate up with your leg lifted apart. And one more. Perfect. And we can switch to the other side. Again, always getting down carefully on your side to protect your core. And we'll do clamshells on the other side. Last one on this side, and we'll move into broken clamshell. So taking that leg up and then rotating open. And one more, and release down. Now we can come back up to a seated position, and we'll bring our feet together for butterfly pose. Again, just opening up our pelvis, opening up our hips. Let your knees flop out. You can bounce them a little bit. If you want to, you can bring them up, press your elbows, and provide a little bit of resistance. And then drop them down again. Release, sitting up nice and tall. We can fold forward just as far as comfortable for you, and take a couple of breaths here. Beautiful. And coming up, and we'll take our feet wide apart for wide leg forward fold. Doesn't matter how far they are out, just as a gentle stretch for you. Again, we want to be careful of not overstretching in pregnancy, because we do have that relaxin hormone making us more flexible. So you can sit up nice and tall and stay here, or if you want to, you can fold forward for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Beautiful. And coming up, now we're going to practice a breathing exercise to strengthen our core in preparation for pushing. So you can bring your legs in and just find a comfortable seated position. If you wanted to sit up against a wall or your ball or a couch or something, you can absolutely do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to work the inner core muscles, the transverse abdominal muscles, by taking our stomach in towards our spine in 5 different steps. So you can put your hand on your belly, connect with your baby, and we are going to exhale. So you can take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to bring your stomach in 5 steps. So inhale, and bringing your baby in, and then on the inhale, you're going to relax it and let it back out again. Exhale, contract, and inhale. We can also add a Kegel to that. So as we exhale and contract our core in, we're going to Kegel up in 5 steps as well, picking up your blueberry at the opening and picking it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so inhale and exhale, contract, Kegel, and inhale, release in 5 steps. Fully relaxed, and we'll take a breath between. Inhale again, and inhale, and again exhale, and inhale. Perfect. So for the next one, we're going to get down on the ground just to practice what it might be like to go through active labor, to go through a contraction, and we're going to practice our breathing so you can fully relax. And as you're going through the contraction, you're focusing inwards and you're focusing on your breath and relaxing and opening up your pelvic floor and your cervix to let baby out. And if you're counting your breath and working with your breath, then you know how long your contraction is going to last. So let's say it's lasting 4 or 5 breaths, and you know that you can make it to the end. So we can breathe in for 4. So this is an active labor. Your contractions might be about 5 minutes apart. And from someone viewing you from the outside, you would look totally relaxed. All your energy is going towards letting your body do the work, and you're focusing inward, focusing on your breath, and just letting your body do the work for you. So you might want, your eyes might be closed, and we're breathing in for 4. And then we're going to breathe out for 6. And I like to do sort of what I did is a yoga breath. And so it's a slight constriction of the back of your throat so I could hear my breath. And so as if you're blowing out on a window to fog it up, but my mouth was closed, and I'm focusing on the energy going down and moving my baby that way. So going out for 6, in for 4, and out for 6. In for 4, and out for 6. Good. So when we're getting to transition, or we're getting to the pushing phase, that's going to be a different breath. So first of all, you want to wait to feel for the urge to push. So sometimes a woman will get to 10 centimeters and their healthcare provider say, oh, you're 10 centimeters, you're ready to push. And this happened with my first baby, but I literally, my blood vessels in my face were burst because my body wasn't ready, and I was pushing so hard that it was effective, but it was just, I was exhausted. Whereas with my third baby, they checked me, I was 3 centimeters, and so I was tired. I laid down to relax, and all of a sudden I heard myself grunting. And I knew that I felt that my body was bearing down, my body was pushing, and I got them to check me again, and I was ready to go. And so listening to your body and waiting to feel the urge to push is very important. And then we want to let our body do the work, and our body will push for us. We've been putting in all the preparation for it, and our body will know what to do, and we have to breathe. We can support our body with pushing when we feel the urge to push. It will probably be hard, at least for me, it was hard not to push when I felt that urge, but I let my body lead the way and listen to my body. And so there's a couple of different ways that you can breathe with it. And so what a lot of healthcare providers, and even when I was having my babies, it was inhale, and then you hold for 10 while you're pushing. And the thought was that holding was putting more pressure and helping your body push that out. And that is a little bit naturally what I did. However, there's newer research coming out that's saying if you're doing a slow exhale, that can actually reduce tearing. And so if you're able to, again, listen to your body's going to tell you what to do, doing what they call a J breath, where you're inhaling in, and then as you're pushing, you're doing a slow exhale. You're not blowing, so your energy is going that way. But again, with that constriction, and picturing pushing with a slow exhale out can reduce the risk of tearing. So listen to your body, but we can practice that. And a good place to practice is if you're going to the number 2 on the bathroom, that is a very similar, probably the closest feeling if you're a first-time mom, to what it's going to be like to push that baby out. So pushing as if you're going number 2, so you can practice on the toilet. So we can get into whatever position you think you might birth in. So maybe you're on your side. All fours is another. You could be on a birthing stool. You could have something to hold on to here. You may move around. Again, listen to your body. Gravity does help, and opening up your hips, being on your back is going to have the most closed position for your hips, not helping your baby come through. But you can play around with it and see what feels natural for you. But let's say we're on our hands and our knees, we can practice. So inhale in and very slow exhale out while we are imagining pushing We'll do that again. Inhale in and but you can see how you're using a very similar to the exercise when we were, it's a very similar downward contraction, and your body is going to push your baby out naturally with that, and we can support our own body. So I'm going to pick a yoga card for you, and then we'll move into Shavasana. So the yoga card is, my baby will be in the perfect position for birth. So we can get down on our side. If you wanted to grab a pillow for between your knees, you can. Again, getting carefully down and closing your eyes. You can put your hand on your belly to connect with your baby, scanning your whole body, relaxing all the different parts, just watching your breath. And when you're ready, wiggling your fingers and toes, circling your wrists and ankles, stretching them apart, and come up to a seated position. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste to you, and namaste to the babies. If you like videos like these, please let me know in the comments below and hit the thumbs up button, and this lets YouTube know that you want to see more videos like these. I also have lots of resources for pregnant mamas that I will put in the description box below. I have a complete guide on how to reduce pain and cope with pain during labor. I have a Kegel exercise guide to prepare your pelvic floor for birth and the fastest recovery after. I have a pregnancy meal plan that I put together as a registered dietitian, as well as the pregnancy yoga card. So I will link to those in the description box below. Thank you so much again for joining me for this yoga class, and I'll see you in the next video.